You are listening to the Live and Level Gamers podcast in association with FullEffectGaming.com. See, we don't play those games. We just play those games. With Level Head Gamer. To John Shaw, to K-Bomb 20, D2K, Jedi Knight. The Live and Level Gamers podcast, where gamers come to talk.
Yeah, we here, people. Y'all need to get on up. Y'all ready to go? Let's get it in. This is the Live and Level Gamers podcast, episode 69. That is James Brown. That's old school, because we old school. Well, we young school too, but you know how we do. Anyway, are y'all tuned in? Let me know in the live chat, man, how y'all feeling. Say something, man. K-Bum talking. I don't see nobody else talking. Are y'all up? Anyway, this is the Live and Level Gamers podcast. Let these dudes introduce themselves, starting with my boy to my right. That is Prime, Mr. Prime. Go ahead.
I told you I'm not good at intros and exits. That's just not.
Get on up, man.
Of course, I'm not good at intros and exits.
It's like you're just standing. Somebody trying to take a picture of you. You're like,
What's up? Funny. Say what's up, Level. What's up, bro? So who is that? How you say that?
Miguel Angel.
Miguel Angel.
Oh,
get on up, bro. I don't know what I was going to say.
What were you
anyway, go ahead and introduce yourself, Captain America.
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's K-Bomb 20. I'm ready to get this in. Still upset at that game last night, but it is what it is. Let's get it popping.
Okay, and this is your boy, Leveled Head, and we back. This is episode 69. We got a few. Well, that don't even sound good, do it? Well, get on. But anyway, when I said that, I was like, wait a minute. But yeah, this is episode 69. Anyway, let's get it in, man.
Sure.
We always do this at the top of the show. What you been gaming on? Just had a call come out of nowhere. I don't know who that was. So I might have to call him back. But at the top of the show, and I got to go ahead and do that. K-Bun, what you been gaming on, man?
Yo, so what I've been gaming on, me and Jedi, Mr. German himself, Mr. New York, Jets, Jets. We've been gaming on some Battlefield 1. And mostly team deathmatch at this point, but we did try that Operations. And that thing was just crazy, man. And it just again opens up one of the issues I have with DICE and their shooters is that they don't explain to you what's going on, or they don't explain you how to do certain things. You're just supposed to figure it out. And that's just one issue I've always had with DICE in every Battlefield that I've played. When you play the bigger game mode, when there's a bunch of stuff going on, they don't explain anything to you. You just got to go over there and play. And so we got ran through our first 2 times playing that Operation.
Who was this? Who was you playing with?
Jedi. Mr. New York.
Jedi. Okay, I know who you said.
Mr. New York.
I didn't hear who you said. I didn't hear who you said, man. Look, go ahead.
No, so we've been playing that together. I've gotten back into Madden, like heavy back into Madden. I just played that Draft Champions today. I just went 6-0 well, 6-1, but the one loss was a disconnect, and it's not my fault. That's my internet. But other than that, went 6-0, won the championship. So I'm probably going to be getting that a little bit more. I've been playing a little bit more Madden, try to get my skills up so I can beat these noobs out there. And I've still been playing 2K in the park. Come holler at me. You want to see me? Like I said, my PlayStation name is KBon20. Come holler at me in the park if you want to get that work. Still playing a little Overwatch as well, and I have Call of Duty in the mail.
Okay. That's what's up, D2K. What you been gaming on, man?
Well, not much. Just a few minutes ago, when you guys buzzed me for the show, I was playing the original NES version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I had just made it to the airport, and when you guys buzzed me, it caused me to die.
And so this is the original?
The original NES version.
The one with the water level?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate that.
That's easy. Yeah, it's so easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, once you figure out what you're supposed to do, it's simple.
I guess I never figured it out, man. I know it's on many people's top 10 hardest games ever. I know that. That and Battletoads is on a lot of people's top 10 hardest game ever.
You know, I mean, I didn't play Battletoads until maybe a couple of years ago. That was the first time I ever played it, ever, and I didn't really understand what was so great about it. It was, I don't know. Maybe that was because so much of a Turtles fan, and it just kind of jaded how I would view Battletoads. But I don't know.
Maybe because you're 25 years too late. Maybe that's
no, because I played games I hadn't played before, and I'm like, man, this was the truth back then. I should have been playing it back then.
Battletoads is still the truth. You speaking blasphemy right now.
You say Double Dragon, I will get with you. Battletoads, Ninja Turtles, yeah, Battle Time.
Well, both of y'all about to get deleted on my top 5.
Go ahead, D2. What else you been gaming on?
Oh, my man said Turtles 2 was harder. I don't. That was hard that he remember. Okay.
Well, no, because
that's the arcade version, right? Turtle 2 arcade version.
Yeah, the arcade version, NES version, because you can put the code in to get 10 extra lives or something like that.
I didn't know about that code.
Like, yeah, it was.
Nobody tell me that.
It's up, down, left, right, BA, start.
I didn't know that.
You just commit that stuff to memory. I remember the code
for
that.
You get the
Contra.
Contra. Left, right, AB, start.
I remember the code.
Select start, 2 players. Come on, I mean selfish.
Yeah.
It was up, down, right, left, AB, start, right?
No, for Contra?
No, for Turtles.
Turtle is up, down.
It was 2 for Turtles. It was up, down, AB, right, left, AB, something, select, start. Then it was up, down, right, left, AB, and that'll get you infinity life or like a whole bunch of life or something like that.
If the one I said gives you it gives you like extra lives, plus you can select what level you want to go to.
Yeah, the ones I knew, one was give you the ability to select the stage you want to go to, and the other one will give you life. I thought you had to. That's how I remember, but maybe you're right. Maybe it was one for all of it. I don't know. I thought it was 2 different codes for life.
It might have been. I don't remember. That's the only one. I only remember that one.
Okay, yeah, it was one that'll get you. You could select any stage, and then there was one that'll get you a whole bunch of life. And I used to do both. I do the one to get you life, and then I do the one to select the stage, and always start with, because the Nintendo version had the 2 extra stages on it. You had the it was one, the dojo.
Yeah, there was a park or something.
Yeah, park and a dojo with tigers and all that stuff was busting out.
Yeah,
it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Go ahead though. We just took over your what you been gaming on moment. Go ahead, man.
Well, that was it.
Oh, okay. Okay, for me, I've been playing that Madden. Played on. You can actually see what I played because I was with K-Bomb. Getting roasted for most of the game, but then I made a comeback. I made a comeback down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? I made a comeback, but anyway, I didn't get dusted and disgusted. I got beat. But if it would have just stayed what it was. Had it stayed what it was, it would have been a straight sop, man. I would have just got sopped up. But anyway, Yeah, I played that. Play Little Gears this week. What else? I played a little Super Punch Out on my Wii U. I got the Super Punch Out. I played some of that while I was down here doing something. I was playing it on the gamepad, and basically that's been about it, man. So get on up. So that's been about it, man. So let's go ahead and get in, man. So let's start with this first topic, man. And if y'all got some topics that y'all might want us to touch on that we ain't got in the list, just put it in the live chat, and we try to bring some of that up if we got time. But everyone know that next week on the 10th, the PlayStation 4 Pro is coming out. I called GameStop and asked one of the representatives about the Pro, and I think I'm gonna do it again. I think I'm gonna do it right now and call them live. Do y'all think I should do it? Call them live on the air?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Let's go for it.
Get on up. Come on.
So we gonna call them and ask them, man, see what they say. All right, let's go. So let's put this on speakerphone. So
yeah, I kind of want to hear what they're gonna say. I know these.
Can y'all hear that?
Yeah, I can hear that. Go ahead.
Thank you for calling GameStop. We can join us tonight for our midnight launch of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. This is Alex. How can I help you?
Yes. I was calling to ask how much is the PlayStation Pro going to cost?
The PlayStation Premium?
The Pro. The Pro?
Oh, the PlayStation Pro?
Yes.
Just one sec, okay?
She said the premium. Wow.
Oh man.
You're just gonna have to waiting on her to get back.
I can't wait, guys. Stop.
Curious what this gonna cost.
Looks like the PlayStation Pro, the 1 terabyte, is $399.99 before taxes.
Okay, now what is the difference between the 4 Pro and just the regular PlayStation 4?
The PlayStation Pro, it allows more memory, it's got better graphics, better images, everything's crisp, it's made for newer TVs, smoother gameplay, and it's probably going to be the newer system that we start pushing people towards and what game makers are going to start making games for.
Okay, so when you say newer TVs, does that mean if I don't have a new TV, it's not going to help me out?
No, you don't have to have a new TV, but you'll definitely need a TV with at least an HDMI port.
Okay, I have that. So basically, it's a more powerful PlayStation 4, but it still does 1080p or what? I'm confused.
I'm sorry, I can't really hear what you're saying. It sounds like you're in a bad spot.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? I might have been too far. I was saying, with it being made for a newer TV.
I lost you again. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. With it being made for a newer TV, what is the benefit if I don't have a newer TV?
It's probably going to be made for a newer TV. A PlayStation 4 now goes for a newer TV. You would need an HDMI port in your TV. It doesn't have to be brand spanking new, but it has to be relatively new. It can't have the red, white, and yellow cables.
No, I have HDMI. I'm asking, you were saying newer. I'm thinking you're talking about 4K TV. So I was saying if I don't have that, like,
No,
what is it going to do for me?
New TV. As long as you have an HDMI port, you should be fine.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. Thanks. People.
Oh my god.
Hey, bro.
That PlayStation Premium, cut. Oh, you should have asked her. You should have asked her.
Like, first of all,
I'm embarrassed to say that I ever worked for this company, man.
You should have asked
kidding
him.
me?
No. You should ask. Okay, y'all. You told me about the Pro, but tell me about that PlayStation Premium.
But the thing is, man, they're pushing it as if you don't. They try to push it as if it's going to do something for you if you don't have a 4K TV. It doesn't matter, and that's what I noticed the last time. I was like, wait a minute,
What is she talking about? She said it
Like-
can't have the component cable or no composite cables. She talked about composite cables. Looking at wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It has to have an HDMI port. What, dude? Wow.
So yeah, folks, it's coming out next week. So we're going to talk about this. That was just for fun, you guys. So
That was embarrassing.
all right, so
we need to have a weekly special called Ask Your Local Game Stuff. I think that'd be hilarious. If we just have a weekly special that we just call random game stops and just talk to them about video games. I think that would just get so many views.
What? Oh man, I don't know. Maybe it's just where y'all live because there's nobody that's stupid working at any GameStop than where I live. It's just
Right.
not. It's just not.
I'm in a big city. They're all over the place, man.
yeah. So let's talk about it. Like, what do you guys expect? Do you think it's first of all, do you think it's going to sell? Like, do you think people are going to go out and really purchase this thing in droves, or do you think it's going to be a casual situation where the people who have the TVs and the want the extra power are going to get it? Like, what do you think is going to happen? I'm gonna throw this at D2K first.
I don't know. I mean, I think that the people, the hardcore Sony fans that got the money are going to scoop it up. People who have 4K TVs, if they talk to people like this clown that we just got through talking to, they might not pick it up because she didn't mention 4K once. So I don't know. I mean, it's people who know what this system is. They already knew that they were going to get it when they first heard the reveal about it and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's going to be a certain portion of PlayStation owners that got the money. They want that extra power. They got the 4K TV. They said, we'll just go ahead and get the Pro, trade in a PS4 or whatever. And people who don't have a PlayStation 4 yet, like myself, will probably grab the Pro instead of getting a PlayStation 4 or Slim. What makes sense?
PlayStation OG.
We doing that now. We really doing that. I thought we got enough of that with the Xbox, man.
It's a PlayStation OG now. What you talking about?
Go ahead, D2K. K-Bum over here.
Yeah.
Hashtag PlayStation OG. Come on, man. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, I think that most people will probably. It's not gonna do fantastic. It's just. I mean. This being, Black Friday coming up in a couple of weeks, you see a lot of sales for it then, but I think you'll taper off once the holidays are over and it'll just be normal after that.
Okay. K-Bom?
I don't, man, I've been going back and forth on this. I don't know if I want it. If I want to spend the extra money for the PlayStation Premium, I don't know if I want to.
That's something different.
I don't know if I do, man, because I've been contemplating. Because I can sell my original PlayStation. There's nothing wrong with the OG, but I do get the better graphics. But I don't have a 4K TV yet. And so, I can probably get the 60 frames per second solid. They said some games are going to choose between higher res and get a better frame rate. But, at this point, I don't know, because I'm contemplating VR still. So I don't know if I want it. But the question is for the masses. And what would this system really do? And I guess the reason why I open it up that way is that I think there may be more people, more than the norm, that kind of think the way that I'm thinking about it is it even worth the purchase? And that's going towards Sony fans. I don't call myself a hardcore Sony fan, but I am definitely a Sony fan, and I'm still contemplating if this is the right choice. But as it goes for the masses, I don't know. I think like D2K said, people who've been eyeballing this since it was announced are going to get it. I mean, that's just going to happen. And the people who are getting brand new systems are going to buy it. I don't know why you. I mean, just you go a little bit $100 cheaper, but if you're going to get a system, might as well get the best system out there if you got the money to do. So definitely get some sales that way. But as far as I don't see it flying off the shelf. Same thing I said about the VR. I don't see it flying off the shelf, and I don't see. I see it making some sales this holiday season. I guess just like D2K said, it's going to make sales this holiday season because it's not too much out there right now this holiday season. It's not a great holiday season. We've seen better.
Yeah, I agree with that. This is not a good holiday season.
No, we've seen better, but it's definitely gonna. I mean, it's gonna sell, but I don't know if it's not gonna be a hit. I guess that's what I want to say. It's not gonna be like, oh my God, we're not gonna be looking back at this in March saying, oh my God, look how amazing the PlayStation Pro did. We're gonna say, well, it did about average like we expected. I mean, that's the sense I'm getting from it. I don't know.
Okay. Well, going off of this person, and I ain't mean to put. I ain't trying to tease or nothing, but if they don't have the knowledge or the information to accurately describe what the PS4 Pro is, then there's going to be a lot of people coming in inquiring about the PlayStation 4 Pro and not seeing the benefit between a PlayStation 4 Pro and the PlayStation 4 OG. Now we be calling that because like D2K said, she didn't even tell us about. She said it, but she said it in a way that you wouldn't understand it. You need a modern TV. Like, okay, I think everybody now, if you got Charter, they have made you update your TVs. So everybody most people have a TV with an HDMI connect in it. So I don't understand why she was saying that, but she did not say 4K. She did not say all these different things. And if you're going in there inquiring about it, I think people just going to stick with the regular PlayStation 4. And I think the people that's going to buy these are loyal Sony fans, but I also think a lot of Sony fans are thinking like UK Bum, like I'm more interested in the VR than the actual Pro, because right now I went out to Sam's Club. I was out there buying some stuff, some because you buy bulk out there, but they sell pretty nice TVs, and so I was looking at them, and I looked at the 4K HDMI. I mean the 4K HDR. She got me saying HDMI, but anyway. Yeah, but anyway, HDR, high dynamic range, and shoot, those TVs still, when you're looking at a 4K TV that's beautiful right here, and it's saying 1100, 1200, it's Samsung or it's a Vizio or whatever, and you like, man, this is beautiful. Then you look at this TV right here, and it says 4K HDR 3500. It's like, I don't see, and that's the TV you're going to need to really experience the Pro, you know what I'm saying, and the Scorpio. So I don't know, man. I mean, right now I think it's just better just to stick with the regular PlayStation. Like it has HDR on it too. I mean, if you have an HDR TV, even the regular PlayStation 4 can take advantage of that, and the 1080p is pretty nice on a 4K TV. I have a 2K that upscales 4K, and it looks real good. So even the PlayStation 4 benefits from a 2K TV. So I don't know. I don't know the angle that they're going to be able to push if you don't have a 4K HDR TV. I don't know how they're going to push.
So if Sony was smart, they would have some type of deal for people buying Sony 4K TVs and buying a PS4 Pro.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I haven't heard of any deals. Maybe Black Friday, but I haven't really seen.
But that's gonna still, like, if the TV's starting out, like I saw one. I happened to be over in Illinois, and I saw one. It was in Target, and I wouldn't buy. I'm not Target, Target. I wouldn't buy a TV from Target, but it had one 4K HDR TV for $1,700, and it was a low brand TV, and it's like, if it's costing that much, I don't really think it's really giving you the full benefits of HDR and 4K. So I don't see what type of deal they can make with you that'll still make it reasonable on the pockets when those TVs starting out 3,000 plus, 2,000 plus. Like that's a lot of money to jump into 4K gaming. That's just my opinion.
Xbox was doing a deal. I remember about a month ago, about a week ago. Now, about a month ago, they were doing a deal with the S and 4K TVs. I don't exactly remember what the deal was, but they were packaging the system with a particular TV.
Okay. It's gonna be interesting. Like I said, it's next week. It's like D2K said, I can see him getting one because he don't have a PlayStation 4, but I don't see the need, me personally owning a PlayStation 4. I'm like K-Bum. I don't really have the need to go out and get it because I have nothing here to take advantage of it. So basically, I'm getting a powerful system to limit it to what my PlayStation 4 OG is doing. And
don't forget they did say games could choose to up frame rate. I mean, so that is a benefit.
Okay. But they're not saying that though.
No. GameStop not saying. I'm just saying for the informed.
Yeah, okay. Right. I got you.
It is doing that much, but is better frame rate worth $100 or 150, depending on how much you can resell your PlayStation 4 for.
Yeah, David 23 said the Pro uses the same CPU as the PlayStation 4, so it's not much of an upgrade. But he does have a better GPU, so
yeah, it is a better.
But he is right on that.
Well, I just typed in there is that the PS4, the regular PS4 has an ATI 7870 GPU, and the PS4 Pro. It's either RX 470 or 480, one of those two, and those are substantially more powerful than the 7870. So
yeah.
So and then plus the PlayStation leans more on the GPU side than the CPU side because actually the Xbox One has more powerful CPU than the PlayStation 4.
Right.
But the PlayStation 4, has a better GPU and it's constructed to lean more heavily on the GPU, which is where you get that that power boost from. So,
man, when did we get Birdman, dude? We got Birdman on the. I haven't been watching my team, but anyway, let me stay focused. I'm watching Cavaliers, my team playing.
You been there? Where you been?
I know that's what I'm saying. I ain't been watching.
Didn't you see that? Well, I didn't. Well, when I found out about it, I saw something. I don't know, it was this week or last week where the Undertaker was backstage at one of their or in the locker room or something with the Cleveland Cavaliers game. And I remember seeing him walking up to him and shaking his hand. I was like, man, he's like a foot taller than the Undertaker. But that's when I knew that he was on the team. So
right. This is my first time. No, I didn't. Like I said, I haven't been keeping up. It's early. I ain't really much going on, so I ain't been really keeping up with them yet. But because I'm still footballing it out. But anyway, let's move on to the next topic, man. So there's been a lot of talk about the fact that Nintendo Wii U's are in the production, so they're not making any more Wii U's. And of course, Nintendo came out and denied these claims, but I believe that they are actually in the production for the Wii U's. I don't believe they lying about that. So I want to ask the question: is this the end of the Wii era? Will we ever see Nintendo come back to the Wii brand in the future at any time, dude? Let me ask that question. Is this the end, D2K?
No, it should be though.
So you see in the future them coming back to the Wii brand?
Yep.
Okay, explain, elaborate.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I want to hear that too.
Well, I mean, it's real simple. The Nintendo does what they want to do, whether it makes sense or not. And they've invested too much in that brand, and they've been trying to push that down our throats for too long to give up on it now. So at some point, if somebody gets an idea, they're going to use it. They shouldn't. They need to get away from it. They need to run away from it like the bubonic plague. But that's not what Nintendo does. They do what they think is smart, and they do what is cutting edge and innovative to them. So I can definitely see. I would not be surprised if there was a Wii Sports 3 on the Switch. Not
Wii Sports. I'm not not Wii Sports. I'm talking about like the Wii, like returning to the Wii branded console. Like, is the Wii brand, and we deal with the Wii Sports part. We go into that, but like Wii brand, like you got the NES, Super NES, N64. You know, that was all Nintendo, but then Nintendo kind of morphed into the Wii brand, became its own thing. You didn't even have to say Nintendo Wii. You just said the Wii. And it was its own brand, own identity. Yeah, it was Nintendo's platform, but the Wii became a household name, the Wii. And then, of course, the Wii U put a bad taste in everybody's mouth, most folks' mouth. Most of them buy it. And, of course, the Wii ended on a bad note. But do you think Nintendo is just finna wash their hands of the Wii brand and never look back at it again as something to come back to or bring back up ever? Like, is this it with Wii? With the W and WII? Is that it?
I don't think so. I think that at some point you'll see it again. I think that they have an opportunity to bury it once and for all, because with Nintendo Switch, you have the initials NS. And if you can go forward, you can say NS1, NS2, NS3. You know, that rolls off the tongue a lot better than Wii, you know. So if they would be smart to leave the Wii alone. But, you know, this is Nintendo. So they're still gonna have Miiverse, they're gonna have Miis. So and Miis, it's just that aura is not gonna go away. They're not gonna give that up. They're just not. Somehow, some way, Wii is going to rear its ugly head on the Switch somewhere down the line.
Okay. K-Bum 20.
Is it dead?
Is the Wii branding dead?
I'm gonna give Nintendo the benefit of the doubt and say yes. Yes, that is dead and gone, and they won't come back to that. They know they made failures. They know they did some things they should not have done. And they've learned from it, and they're gonna change.
You don't sound too confident.
They're gonna change, yeah. No, I'm gonna continue my stance and say yes, that is dead. They're gonna go away from it. That they're gonna remove themselves from the Wii U and move on to the Switch. Like, they got the whole yin yang symbol on the Switch thing, and they're done with it, and this is it. This is death. Okay, that's what I'm going with. So that's my statement.
Okay, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna go with D2K on this one. I think they're taking a break. They're gonna let the Wii, because the Wii U was such a failure that they have to depart from the Wii branding. But I think they're gonna morph the Wii brand into its own thing. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I do see the Wii brand coming back, because it was, to me, the Wii brand was powerful at the time. It was everybody know what the Wii is. The Wii U was confusing, but the Wii WII, while it was awkward and kind of different, very different and weird when we first heard it, dude, we have been hearing the Wii for pretty much the last decade. Like, it has been Wii. It was. You didn't say Nintendo no more. You said Wii, the Wii. You didn't say the Nintendo Wii. You just said the Wii, and everyone knew what you were talking about. It was a household brand, the Wii. Now, I don't know. I think Nintendo can morph it into its own product line. Like, it might not be the home, for everybody. They might morph it into like something for straight casual experiences where they that they can still, like, you ain't a hardcore gamer, you ain't into all these games. They might be able to put smaller, quicker experiences on a Wii branded device that's marketed towards casual non-gamers, with the Wii remote, all that stuff there for cats that want to do that. And because I don't think they need to do away with it.
That's what
I don't think they need to do away with it. No, I don't think the Switch is that. Like, the Switch is this is the Switch to me. I don't agree with that. That's why I say
that's what they said it is, though.
Well, hold on. Let me explain myself, because I feel like I feel like I just asked a dumb question, but I think it's a good question because the Wii brand is to me, the Wii brand is too edged in our thoughts to just that's it, no more Wii. We done with the Wii. You know, I can't see that. So I can see them stepping away from the Wii and then kind of morphing the Wii into something for a different market, different audience. I believe the Switch is for their fan base. And it's also trying to get the like I said, the millennial young adults, the older adults, the cool adults, the on-the-go gamer. It ain't for kids. It ain't being marketed toward kids, but a kid can play it. It has a traditional feel to it while not being traditional. Meaning the controller is traditional. The way you play it is it ain't. They really haven't shown any motion controls. It's traditional control set, TV on play it on your big screen TV, and then if you want to, you have the luxury to take it with you if you choose to, but you don't have to. So the Switch is more traditional than the Wii ever was. Am I fair to say that? The Switch is more traditional than the Wii was.
That statement of the Switch being the most, I've heard some people say that the Switch is the most traditional console that Nintendo has made since the GameCube. That statement makes me grow hair on my teeth.
Explain, because I believe it is. Because there was no, outside of the taking it with you, what was the gimmick?
How many controllers and how many consoles do you know that you can split apart and make two different controllers from the one?
But that's no.
Answer the question.
How many? So ask the question again. Ask the question.
How many consoles do you know that have a controller that splits off and becomes two?
None.
How many consoles do you know that can slip out of a dock and you can play on the go?
None.
How many consoles can you take on the go and play local multiplayer with other people in their consoles of the same brand?
Again, none.
This is the most untraditional console that Nintendo has ever made.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, yes, it is, and no, it isn't. Because if you put it in that context, then you're right, D2K. It's the most untraditional. But the way I'm coming at it and what I think other folks are saying, what made the Wii and the gamepad and the Wii U so standoffish was when you came to control it, you had untraditional controls. Whereas with the Wii, with the Nintendo Switch, the controller they seem to be pushing has a very traditional vibe to it, even though it can morph into something very untraditional if you choose to use it that way. But that's optional. The main thing is play your games with a traditional style controller, and if you don't like this one with the switchable aspect, go get you the Pro controller, and there you go. That's the experience.
I buy that for the Wii because the Wii basically had like a remote control into a controller, so that was definitely different. But if you have ever played the Game Boy Advance, then you basically had a Wii U gamepad.
Right, but
it felt the same way. And if you were a Nintendo fan and you had Nintendo products in the past, you were used to that feel. It wasn't a foreign feel to you when you had the Wii U gamepad in your hand.
But
this particular Switch controller is not really. The closest controller that I could see that it mirrors is a Dreamcast controller. The shape of it,
okay,
and how long it is, and how deep it is. And that was a pretty nice controller, but it doesn't feel like an SNES, a PS2, a PS3, an Xbox, or even a Wii U Pro controller. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel the same as those controllers do. Or does it look the same? I shouldn't say it doesn't look the same. I can't say it feels the same.
This is what I mean. This is what I mean when I say is the most traditional system Nintendo has made post GameCube. That when you look at we can't use the Nintendo fan base as the audience that we're talking about, because the Nintendo fan base has learned to adapt to the Wii remotes, and then about 13 million chose to adapt to the gamepad. But for the most part, most folks did not like that untraditional way of controlling the game. Even the gamepad was too much for them. Now, I'm not saying that this Switch controller, they're going to like it, but looking at the Switch controller in its controller state, it looks like a cross between the Xbox controller and the, like you said, the Dreamcast controller. I always liked the Dreamcast controller. It felt good in your hand. I think that's what the Xbox One kind of got some of his form factor from, was the Dreamcast controller, and like morphed it with the PlayStation DualShock. So it's like a cross between those two controllers. So in his regular set, with the piece docked to the centerpiece, I don't know, with the two, what you call that, Joy-Cons slid into whatever Joy-Cons. Anyway, that is a traditional controller for a traditional experience, and if that's too much, you can get the Pro controller, and and there you go. It's a traditional way of gaming. There's nothing that you got to waggle. There's no big screen on the controller that you got to look back up and down. It's play your games, look at your TV, play your games. Now, you can take that if you choose to, put it on your controller and take it with you. That's the untraditional aspect of it. So to me, while it's untraditional, it's way more traditional than the Wii ever was, where you had a remote and nunchuck that you had to learn a whole new way of controlling the game, which wasn't hard to learn because it was natural. But a lot of folks didn't want that. They wanted their traditional feel of controller. And the gamepad, they felt like it was too bulky and the screen in it. I got to look at the screen and they used every excuse. I see all that's removed now.
Well, they did use excuses. I'm with you on that. They did use excuses.
So not D2K, but K-Bum, you quiet over there. Go ahead, man. Let me get your opinion, because you are an outsider looking in. You're not a Nintendo guy. You are the people that I believe Nintendo is trying to persuade back over. Does the Switch look more traditional to you than both the Wii and the Wii U, or the Wii U brand?
From the outside looking in, okay. From a person who has not actually owned a Nintendo system since, Lord, the NES. The NES. Oh no,
it was a 64, man. You had
I
the
did
64.
Not play. Oh, sure. No, I went to my buddy's house and I played Star Fox on my buddy's house. That's what I wanted to play. I thought that game looked awesome. I went to my buddy's house.
Not a gamer if you didn't play a Nintendo up to the 64. You are not a gamer.
I said I played it. I said I didn't own one.
I got you.
Don't put words in my mouth. I played all the games. I just didn't.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, look. You give me some bad messages on the live chat. Jeez. Like I said, from the outside looking in, someone who has not owned a Nintendo system since the NES, I'm sorry, but I do have to side. I do see this as being more traditional because of the input, the way that the game you input the control scheme pretty much. And the way they try to portray it as a traditional console. And then they said, look what else it can do. They had to put the Nintendo flair on it. But I still think this is a little bit more traditional, especially when you don't have the, I don't know if there's not motion control, but it's not the forefront because they didn't show it. So it may have it, but it's not forefront. And it probably be fools not to have some kind of motion control because everyone still does it. So I still think they have some kind of motion control, but they're not pushing that as the forefront or the quote unquote gimmick for it. But around that, like I said, I think it's a little bit more traditional. I think it has some untraditional type things that it does.
Yeah.
But outside looking in, I would side with it being more traditional.
Okay, and that's where I'm coming to. It ain't traditional. I'm not saying it is traditional. I'm saying it is the most traditional approach to gaming that Nintendo has done since the GameCube. And people are saying that the Switch controller looks like the GameCube controller, and I have to agree because the GameCube controller, now that I think about it, it does kind of favor the GameCube controller. But until we get it in our hands, we won't know how it feels. But looking at it, I'm fine with it. I would still probably get the Switch Pro controller as my main controller, and that would be my guest controller. You know, the Switch Joy-Con docked controller would be my guest controller as I use the more pro-like level controller. But it's, to me, Nintendo's approaching gaming more traditionally while being unique and different and taking an innovation that's already worked out and owning it because they have the IPs to do so. So let's go farther with this. Let's stick with this Wii thing. Wii Sports. I asked this earlier today and got a lot of dislikes because I know a lot of people just read the title and didn't listen to the video. But I put on there, is Wii Sports dead? Now that the Wii brand is pretty much either on the shelf or dead. We don't know. I believe Nintendo might morph it into something else, might still use it for something else. Maybe the quality of life stuff might be Wii branded. I don't know. But Wii Sports. To me, Wii Sports has been the most impactful game of this decade, in my opinion, in the last decade. That means during the Wii era and the 8th gen, I think Wii Sports has been the most impactful game created 7th gen and 8th generation. And I'm looking for pushback on this from K-Bum, but if you look at what Wii Sports did, Wii Sports literally made the Wii 100 million seller. Mario didn't do that. Mario Kart didn't do that. Zelda didn't do that. I'm sorry, the Halos and all that didn't single-handedly make a PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 sell 80 million plus systems. It was a collection of games that done that, but with the Wii Sports done that. Wii Sports was the game that got the Wii on Oprah, that got it on the Tonight shows. Everybody was bowling, everybody was playing tennis, and some facts was that nobody even bought any. Some of the people that bought the Wii only bought it for that game, and that's all they ever bought. They never bought another game for it, and the only other game they bought for was Wii Sports Resort. So it's a strong IP. And I'm curious, with Nintendo gravitating away, departing from the Wii brand, what are they going to do with Wii Sports? Can they continue it? And do they need to do something different? Jedi Knight made a good point in the comment section, which I think D2K echoed, and I let him talk for himself. But Jedi Knight said Nintendo need to bring back Nintendo Sports, real simulated sports with their brand. Maybe I think D2K said this, maybe pay Kobe Bryant to be the face and bring back Kobe Bryant courtside. Nintendo need to have their own football game, bring back the wrestling games. So I throw it over to D2K and let him kind of elaborate on how he responded to Jedi Knight. But what does Nintendo need to do with Wii Sports, or what do they need to do with sports in general with the Switch? D2K.
You got the toilet flushing sound effect?
Yes, I do. Dude, you telling me we gotta flush it?
Yep. Just like I said in the comment section, I agree with Jedi 100% that Nintendo needs to go ahead and just give us some straight up professional AAA sports titles. They did it with the NES. They did it with the SNES. They did it with the N64. I'm not sure about the GameCube. I don't know if they had any sport Nintendo. Did they have any court size for the GameCube?
I think courtside was for the GameCube.
Because I know they had one for the. Didn't they have one for the N64?
I don't remember it for the N64. I remember for the GameCube, but I'll look it up here.
Yeah, okay.
If you're in the comment section, if you know this answer, throw it at us so we can.
Well, definitely was nothing on the Wii or the Wii U, but at least up to the GameCube, Nintendo was still doing sports games, and they need to do that because they have IP that they can bring back, that they don't have to create brand new things. They could just go back to IP that they already own and update it and make new games. They can bring back. They got golf, they got wrestling, they got boxing, they got baseball, football, basketball. I mean, they had all kinds of things they can bring back. Racing. They don't have to create new things. It'd be cool if they did, and what I said in the comment section is that when you looked at certain games like Wave Race 64 or 1080 snowboarding, even though those games were super legit in terms of being accurate to the actual sports, that you didn't lack anything that you would see from the sports, everything that was there, the rules and everything was in play. It felt like you were playing a real sports game. It still had that Nintendo magic, it still had that Nintendo flavor to it that made it unique, that you couldn't pull off. Like there was other jet ski games on the PlayStation and stuff that didn't, it wasn't touching Wave Race. And, snowboarding, it wasn't until like SSX came out that they had a snowboard that could touch, 1080, So I think that Nintendo just needs to go ahead and just leverage that because, there needs to be an answer. There needs to be an alternative to Madden. There needs to be a real alternative to NBA 2K. I know NBA Live is out there, but, that's been in a constant fail process since 2010. So there needs to be a foil. There needs to be something a counterbalance to keep the other companies honest. Because as long as there's a monopoly over those particular sports, you're never going to see Madden get better. You're never going to see 2K get better because they're the only gig in town. So they don't have to push themselves. But if you have a Nintendo game if Nintendo puts the same effort in the sports titles that they do their platformers and stuff like that, it's going to be good. So let me ask you this, and then I throw it over to K-Bum. You don't think that Nintendo couldn't do both? Because I feel like Wii Sports, I want Nintendo to bring back the simulation style, realistic sports titles that they used to have. Like Ken Griffey Jr., what was it? One guy put it up Ken
in
Griffey
here.
Jr., yep.
Baseball. I used to play that. I used to play the football game that had, what was his name? Packers. Brett Favre was on the front of
Brett Favre quarterback club.
Yeah, I had those, and they were good games, really good football games. Of course, Kobe Bryant courtside. I had all those games. But at the same time, and Wave Race is one of my favorite top 5 Nintendo games. 1080, snowboarding and all that. I like 1080, but I never really got into it like that though. But it's still a realistic game. But I think there is a lane for Wii Sports and what Wii Sports does, the simple approach, what it brought to the table, and how impactful it was. We have 2 entries, and both these games sold upwards of 40 and 50 million copies. Dude, that's like, you can't just overlook the star power of this title, even though I want, like what you and Jedi Knight was saying, I want the realistic balancer of Madden and 2K, NBA 2K, and the baseball games and all that. I think Nintendo needs to make those games, but I still think there's a lane for a title like Wii Sports. And
the difference is that the thing is that the reason why those things sold as much as they did, because that was gameplay no one had ever done before.
Right, that's my point.
But we've all done it now. And Nintendo did not push the boundaries of motion control further than it. I mean, they could have pushed it a lot further than they did. Was what I'm trying to say. There's a whole lot more that they could have done with Wii Sports in terms of control and the in having true one-to-one response to certain games, but they didn't do that.
And that's what you just said is what why I'm saying they don't need to, as you say, flush it, because I feel like what you just said, the fact that they didn't push the boundaries. Like, what if they kind of took the bowling aspect of Wii Sports and actually, like you said, put the attention to details like they put into their platformers and other type games, and actually took that bowling aspect with the remote and made it into its own Nintendo bowling, where it was using that type of controls, but actually fleshed out a little bit more.
We're shooting too far with Nintendo. They are not that ambitious to do things like that. That's the whole problem. The potential is through the roof of what Nintendo could do, but we know they're not going to do those things.
Well, we don't know. They might have changed DJK. They might have saw the light, like K-Ball said. They might have seen.
And I might have won the Powerball last night, but I didn't.
All right, okay.
I understand. I mean, there's so much potential of what they could do with the Switch, what they could do with motion controls, and what they could do with sports and stuff like that. I mean, I've imagined so. I'm still upset because I never saw the Wii U Zapper. Remember that?
Yeah.
Wii U Zapper, where you put the Wii U gamepad on there, you had the Wiimote in the front and the nunchuck in the back. I was thinking like, man, they could make an Aliens game so cold with this. Ooh. I was just thinking in my mind of what I could do with the Wii U gamepad. If I was making the game, I would have made an Aliens game to where you could look at the Wii U gamepad, we had the Wii U Zapper set up, and then when aliens are like crawling around on the walls and stuff behind you, you can look up with the gamepad and see them on the ceiling, or see them behind you, or see them on the floor. You don't have to look at the screen. You can look all around you using the gamepad itself. They didn't think like that. You see what I'm saying? They making
the gamepad a mirror into virtual reality, instead of having on the glasses. The gamepad was your focal point into a real world
in 3D space, basically. Exactly. Nobody did that. That's the whole problem. Nintendo had it.
So that could have been like augmented. That would have been like an augmented experience, but it was like a kind of in between augmented and virtual reality. That's pretty dope. That would have been a dope idea. Listen to that. Yeah. I don't know how much I would have played that for how long though, having to turn around
or even a Resident Evil game the same way. You know, I mean, people just did not think. You know, it had a lot to do with the fact that people didn't want to waste time with the Wii U because it was underpowered and all that type of stuff, and the architecture was different. But you know, that just goes to show you that Nintendo is not forward thinking enough in areas where they could be so nasty with some of the stuff that they create, but they have certain games in mind and they build tech around those particular ideas, and you don't think any further than that.
You're right. Let's get K-Bum thoughts on this, because I don't want to, we get to talking Nintendo, he get quiet. You play Wii Sports, bro. You actually didn't you say you owned the Wii? Didn't you say you had a Wii?
Where the crickets at? I ain't
go ahead, man.
Nothing like that, man.
I know you haven't, man.
Thank
I know. Do you feel like, what do you think Nintendo need to do with the Wii Sports title? Because of you've seen what it done. You've seen the impact it had on the gaming industry. You saw what it did for the original Wii, and we didn't really see it for real. I don't count what they did on the Wii U with Wii Sports. I think that was just a wrong approach with Wii Sports, what they did with the Wii U. So I don't even count it. But what it did for the Wii is undeniable. So, but with them going away from the Wii brand and literally having Wii in Wii Sports, what do you think Nintendo needs to do with that IP? Do they need to scrap it? Do they need to change the name? Do they need to like DJK was saying, go more realistic? Forget about Wii Sports. Like, what do you think they need to do?
Okay. I'm trying to find out what do I tackle first. You guys said a whole bunch of stuff, and I was just waiting for my turn. Let me tackle the realistic thing because there's a misnomer with that. And I've talked about this on the podcast before. Realistic gaming is not easy. It's not. It was easier back in the day because you didn't have all of these components. You weren't able to do all of this logic when it came to the game. So it was much easier to do realistic type games because they were realistic for the time.
Yeah, they really wasn't physically. The physics and all that ain't what it is.
But now you're talking about physics. Now you're talking about what Madden did when they redid zones for the defense. When
2K, you really have to go back to 2K Sports.
I'm going to go to the level of realism that
okay, go ahead.
Nintendo would need to do to compete with the sim nation that games are doing now. Because Madden is just now getting to simulation football. Just now. After years and years and years and trying, they had to build it in a slow, steady process. And 2K is getting closer to being simulation basketball. If you talk to people who really play 2K, they'll tell you that the last couple of 2Ks was not simulation basketball. It was still cheese ball. And you can still cheese your way to a victory. People from outside think 2K Sports is the best. 2K basketball is the best thing ever. The people who actually play the game will tell you some things about the game that you can actually you can do a lot of cheesy stuff to get victories, and they need to fix that up in order to make it a simulation type game. With that being said, you have to understand that there's a lot of simulation games that died in the past 10 years. Where's the rest of the baseball games? There's only one baseball game, and that was not due to licensing. That was due to 2K could not produce a good baseball game. What about the competitors for football? For hockey. Again, they could not produce a good enough hockey game to compete with EA Sports hockey game. Same thing with basketball. EA could not produce a good enough sim basketball game to compete with 2K. The sim sports genre is something hard and expensive to compete in. That's why I want to make sure that I'm being very clear on that, because a lot of casuals think you can just put a basketball game out there, where when you look at the depth of some of these games, a game just entering will have to have several iterations before it can even get to the level of Madden. Unless it's been doing its iterations behind the scenes for years with its development. That's the only way.
It'd be like them trying to catch up. It'd be almost like how the online service on the Xbox and the PlayStation 4, Nintendo still is trying to catch up to, like, their catching up is always going to have the chasing the moving target, because as they catch up, Microsoft doing new things in those areas. Is that what you're trying to say? Like,
I don't think that's even a fair comparison.
Okay, all right. I'm just trying to get grasp all of what you're saying.
What I'm trying to say is the detail you would have to do. It's like teaching a toddler zone defense. It's a lot of work that has to go into building a sim game, and that's why no one else does it. I mean, come on now. No one else does it.
I'm with you on that.
When the last, other than the big 2K,
You're right. We don't have a lot of sports titles. We don't have a lot of sports titles
because it's hard, and that's why the other ones died, because simulation sports is very hard to do. That's why you have people that go more.
So do you think? Okay. Let me ask this then.
Go ahead.
No, I just want to ask you, because I think you're making a good point. So you saying, okay, with football, I think a lot of those titles died because Madden got
that was licensed.
Exclusive. The license. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's licensed.
With basketball,
no license.
As the power of the systems increased and the expectation increased, as you know, as they tried to improve on the physics and the realistic nature of simulation, the smaller companies that was making it, like the 989 and all those.
99 got ate up by Sony.
Yeah, all those was making all these different basketball games couldn't compete financially with the EAs and the So yeah, you're making a lot of sense with that, K-Bum. I had to give you that.
Well, I do a lot of research.
I didn't think about that
on sports gaming. I do a lot of research on sports gaming. This is my other.
So passion. It just ain't no easy lane to jump in for Nintendo to start trying to compete directly with a Madden or you make sense.
Because Sony, understand, Sony didn't compete. Sony didn't create their own. Sony when they the baseball game Sony does in-house is not Sony's. It's a variation of 989 Sports. They ate up 989 Sports. They took their framework and then they made the show, which is probably one of the best rated sports games in recent history, consistently. And like I said, they've taken years to get to even where they were, but they didn't start from scratch. But you're asking for a company to start from scratch, Nintendo to start from scratch, and to build something in the simulation world, which is gamers are not going to give it a pass.
Now, do they go ahead, D2K, go ahead.
I have some counterpoints to that because as far as it's physics in games in certain sports games, I have yet to play any game in terms of water that has the same water physics as Wave Race.
I was going to go there.
That game is over 25 years old. Well, not 20. Well, 20 years old. I still have not played. I play a lot of games like what's that? Hydro Thunder and.
That's my game. I don't talk bad about Hydro Thunder. Though.
No, I love that game. I love that game. But that game didn't have.
It's just an arcade race. That's an arcade racer. It wasn't.
Or the H2 Overdrive. That's the arcade racer that was the spiritual successor to Hydro Thunder. I wish it came to a console, but stuff like that just never amounted to that. Nothing worthwhile and nothing that has any substance is easy. Everything that matters, everything that's good, everything that has longevity is going to be difficult. When you look at the amount of work and the amount of manpower that it takes to put together a Zelda game from scratch, it takes them like 3 years on a standard definition console to make a game like that. If Nintendo has the same mindset and they have the same quality control, it's not going to be as good as what's already out there, but it's going to be damn good.
Well, but even with that, if Nintendo decides to go that way, what they have to do is they have to get people in there that know the sport. You can't create, if you're trying to do a simulation game, you can't create the game as if you're Nintendo. What I mean is the Nintendo flair. Like there shouldn't be a Mario in a simulation type football game. We talking about it. I understand. What I'm saying is you have to have people who understand the sport, who understand the little nuances of the game, and be able to create it from that standpoint. And I mean, if they put that kind of effort, I believe they can put a good baseball game or basketball game, because they can't do football because they don't have a license. They can do a non-licensed football game, but that's I don't know what you really ask.
Well, we discussed that before. As long as the game is exclusive to the Nintendo console, they can do the football.
Yeah, that's true. If it's made by Nintendo, they can. That is 100% true. That is 100% true. And so I mean, if they want to put that, they have to put that kind of level of effort, though. It's not something that you can take lightly. And so if that's what they want to do, then yeah.
I agree with K-Bum on. I would agree with both of you guys, but I think K-Bum is making a good point that I don't think I was thinking about. It ain't just gonna be with all the stuff that Madden has done and how far them brought football, like their football title, how far NBA 2K has brought basketball and that experience as a game. There's a lot of expectations that's going to come to a basketball experience or a football experience, or a baseball experience that it was Nintendo decide to, after 20-year absence and hiatus from these type of games, to jump in. It's going to be a huger jump than to say to make a first-person shooter. You know, it's going to cause there's so much ground has been made in those areas that Nintendo will have to consider. Like it ain't. So I feel you on that, K-Bun.
It wouldn't. I mean, Nintendo wouldn't have to do it in house. They can go out and buy up smaller companies that specialize in those particular games and game engines, and let them develop it for themselves. Just like Sony did with 989 Studios for baseball for years. So Nintendo can go to a company like Natural Motion and say, make us a football game. Natural Motion are the people who made the Backbreakers games.
Yeah, they did Backbreaker. They haven't came out with anything since. But yeah, they did make Backbreaker.
And that makes sense. And then going to what D2K said about Wave Race, like Nintendo can do those games, because I don't think, first of all, we're not seeing a lot of those games. And I do think Wave Race was one of the best at that time. It was ahead of its time. Like, I played Wave Race. Actually, I played it when I played Super Punch-Out. I played a little Wave Race. And I used to be way better at the game. I ain't no good now. And that's why I be because the game is unforgiving. It's not a game you can cheat. And and I haven't played a game. That game was ahead of its time. The graphics don't match what's under the hood of that software and what's behind the design and the physics and the controls. That game was ahead of its time, man. On the N64.
And what the strange thing about it, I think I've said this before, is that the game didn't have rumble, but it felt like it did because the impacts felt so real that you felt the jar. When you hit a wall or you hit a bump or something, you felt that. I mean, I don't know how
sound that it gave off. I think it was the sound that it gave off. But like, have you ever played Wave Race, K-Bun?
I believe I have. I don't have any. Don't remember.
I played a lot of waterboarding type games, and I kid you not, bro. There's in my opinion, what I played, there's none even come close to Wave Race. Now I'm pretty sure D2K and others might have one or two. I heard Jet Moto Storm and all that, but I've never played one when it comes to water physics design that felt anything close to Wave Race, and that's why I hated Blue Ocean Storm. It's because it didn't feel like the original Wave Race. It
looked better, but it just didn't feel.
It didn't feel the same. It felt less quality. The wave of physics wasn't as good. I even go with even though it looked better, I like the art scheme of the original because it had like a realistic feel, to where the second one was trying to be a little too cool for me. Like the dude with the no helmet on and all. No, give me the person with the helmet because that's how it is. But they can do 1080 and they can do Wave Race. In those sports, they can do those right now. But the basketball, the footballs, the baseballs, the hockeys, K-Bun, right. It's going to take a little bit to jump into those arenas. I agree with you, K-Bun. So you still didn't answer the question. So what do they need to do with Wii Sports? That particular franchise.
Well, I was going to get there, but we was talking about the first thing, so I wanted to properly answer. Anyway, okay. I agree with you to say I do think that Wii Sports did change the game. I think Wii Sports was a game changer. I contemplated buying a Wii because of Wii Sports. I was on the cusp of buying the system because I had so much fun playing that game. So I realized, I had fun to play the game, but I had fun because I was playing with other people. And if I bought the Wii, I'd be playing by myself. And so that's one of the reasons why I didn't get it. But anyway, I think going with the Switch, I think they have a good brand name with the Wii Sports. I don't know how much the Wii U Sports actually tarnished the brand name. But they do have a.
Well, it wasn't no Wii U Sports. It wasn't no Wii U Sports.
What was it? I thought it was a Wii U.
They put Wii Sports on the Wii U. Yeah, it just it was Wii just brought up to HD for the Wii U. That's why I said I don't even count it. I don't even look at it. It was and the way that they made you pay for it was so idiotic. It was just dumb. It was just a dumb approach all the way around with the Wii Sports approach on the Wii U. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think they still have a good fan base to continue that. I mean, I really do. I think they can definitely continue that game per se. So I don't think they should throw away Wii Sports. Maybe even, I don't know. It's just that, like you said before, that Wii name does hold a lot of weight to it. And even trying to rebrand Wii Sports, Switch Sports. I mean, I don't know. That doesn't really sound great. But if it was even rebranded it, I don't know if that has the same appeal that they're actually going for. So I think they should continue. I think they should continue with the Wii Sports brand if they can. Like I said, it was a winner chicken dinner for them, and I definitely think they can continue it. But they just have to make sure that even if it branched off and became its own entity, instead of becoming mini games, it branched off to become, like you were saying before, maybe a full-fledged game in a particular type of sport. But our arcade would probably be the first thing to start, and then maybe a move on from there.
So even though the Nintendo Switch is the new thing, and Nintendo is kind of moving away from the Wii brand as far as hardware, Wii Sports, the game, can still exist on the Wii Switch called Wii Sports. You still think they can call it Wii Sports?
I don't know.
While being on the Switch,
I have a better idea.
I don't know. You
go ahead,
D2.
Call it Me Sports.
Oh, I ain't think about that.
Because you're still gonna have me.
That makes sense.
You're still gonna have Miiverse, so just call it, instead of calling it Wii, call it Me Sports.
That makes sense. See,
that way you still have the connection to the Wii while it being connected to the Wii. You can still move forward and leave the Wii behind, but when people think of Me Sports, they're gonna think, "Oh, that sounds a lot like Wii Sports. Oh, that was fun. Let's give that a try." You know, I mean, if they're gonna have any part of that at all, I would say go from Wii Sports to Me Sports.
Okay, I can rock with that. I can rock with that. I didn't think about that because I was saying, since Me and Wii was basically me was Wii upside down, I thought even that was too attached to the Wii brand. But hearing you explain the way you just explained it, I can definitely rock with that. So let's move on, man. I think that's enough Nintendo talk for tonight. Let's go to this last thing, man. Phil Spencer did talk about the whole, there's a whole fear that now that with these new iterations to the PlayStation 4 with the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox Scorpio from the Xbox One, that we're going to start seeing these 2-year upgrades in heart with both companies now, like almost like Apple. Every 2 years we're going to see an upgraded system. And Phil Spencer basically said no, they're not going to do that because, one, that whole strategy is not good for the home console arena. Like, it doesn't work with the type of business that home console gaming is. That type of plan or that type of way of approaching it would work. So I want to get y'all ideas. I start with K-Bomb. How do you feel about Phil Spencer kind of knocking down the notion that we're going to start seeing more upgraded new systems every 2 years? How do you feel about him coming out early and saying that's not going to happen?
Thank you. I mean, you didn't choose to invest in home consoles for the upgrading. I mean, that's not what you invested. I know, me personally, I'll speak just for myself. I know I think the longevity of the system, the fact that even the PS2 was out there for 10 years before it was replaced, and then even after that, some of the games were still playable 5, 6 years after that. And so that longevity of not having to update is definitely a selling point for the home console. But if you're going to get to a place where we're having to upgrade every 2 years, why not go with a PC? Why not do a PC instead? If that's the case, you can probably get more longevity out of a PC than sticking with a console that you have to upgrade every 2 years. So I mean, I thank them for that, but I don't know how much they're going to stick to that. I don't know what that really means.
Yeah, that was my next question I was going to ask you. Do you believe
I was going there because they've already talked about how different the future is going to be with them. They've started to set the ground rules that it's going to be console gaming is going to be different when it comes to Xbox. So the fact that he actually said that, I don't know how much weight that holds, because they're doing the whole play anywhere thing now, where the system PC games go. I mean, the Xbox games go for both the PC and the Xbox. And so if they can double dip there. I mean, I don't know. I don't. It doesn't hold that much weight because of who said it. And we already know that they want to change the game when it comes to console gaming anyway. But they're just saying that it won't be, those kind of iterations won't be the thing that's going to happen.
Okay. D2K, like what's your take?
I don't really know, because it's not really his decision to make. It's really the decision of the shareholders and the investors on whether or not they feel that this is the direction that the Xbox division needs to go. If what he's saying is true, then that means that Xbox Scorpio, or the Project Scorpio, is the 9th gen Xbox. Because if he doesn't believe in, because he's already said before that he doesn't believe in mid-gen upgrades, and it seems like he's reaffirming that with this statement here. So if that's the case, then that means that Scorpio is Microsoft's next-gen console. So I don't know if that's going to change or not. I would say that the only way that there would be pressure to go that direction is if the PlayStation 4 Pro is very successful, and if Nintendo does with the Switch what I suggested that they do, which is being able to take the tablet out and upgrade the tablet and, keep it stepping from that point forward. So that way you can have yearly iterations of the Switch, or every other year, you have a more powerful console. You don't have to, Nintendo doesn't have to invest so much money, in developing a console, and it could be fairly cheap to replace it. You can just keep the dock, keep your controllers, keep everything that you got, all the accessories and stuff, just switch out the tablet and ready to go. So if the Switch takes off and becomes a smash hit, and Nintendo plans on doing, they actually deploy that and they start doing that, and they're not going to really have much of a choice. They're going to have to think of something to counterbalance that. But it's just too early to really tell, because at this point we got to see what's going to happen with PlayStation 4 Pro, how that's going to do, and we got to find out more about Scorpio and what it actually is. I mean, if the Scorpio has a new CPU and we know it's got a new GPU, but if it has a new CPU as well, then I call that a next-gen console. Because if you have a more powerful CPU and GPU, then why would you call it a mid-gen upgrade? It doesn't make any sense to me. Especially when the GPU supposedly is going to have 6 teraflops. That's going from 1.2 to 6. That's a pretty significant jump. Right. So I would think that this is their next gen. And I said that before. I thought that the Scorpio was their next gen console. I don't think it was a mid gen upgrade.
Well, it was. They asked him about a new, and I think he made a statement that they haven't even started really even thinking about it yet. So I'll agree with you, D2K, that the Scorpio is the new system, the 9th gen system.
And maybe he's just playing a game of chicken with Sony. He doesn't want to come out and say that it is, and they want to wait at the right time and say, this is the Xbox 2, and it's got a Zen processor, and it's got a RX4, a Vega card in it, or something like that,
Well, it would make sense because, this is why it would make sense. And this could this could put Sony in a tight spot, even though Sony's PlayStation 4 Pro is more powerful than, I would surmise than the Switch is going to be. The fact that it's not really it's just an upgrade to the PlayStation 4 rather than a whole new thing. The Scorpio could be marketed as the next gen with the Switch. Like this is our ninth gen system, and that phrasing alone would make people kind of, in my opinion, be more interested in it than you saying this is the PlayStation 4 Pro. That means it's something is new, but it's old at the same time. Like you said, with the CPU in it, the same CPU in it, kind of limiting what it can do if the Xbox come out with, like you said, D2K, a new CPU and GPU, really going up there. I don't care. I don't know all about the gigaflops and TIG and all that crap, but if they do all of it, they can promote this as their next gen system, and I think that would get a lot of attention. And especially if they can say we do true 4K, this many frames per second, they can boast about stuff that the PlayStation 4 can't. So
because I guess what the conversation is that Microsoft went to third parties. I'm not sure how the conversation started, but basically they said, what would you need from us in order for you to do native 4K on our console? And third party said, give us 6 teraflops, and they said, okay. So that was pretty much the end of the conversation there. You say, this is what we need. Okay, you got it.
K-Bon, you got anything to share on that, man?
I thought Sharon is ready.
I'm just replying to what D2K.
No. I think D2K. He's on point. He's on point with that. I'm not gonna take up time just to hear myself talk.
Okay. That's why you're here.
I know, I'm getting hungry, man. I'm ready to eat. My wife just got home. I'm getting kind of hungry.
Okay, we better wrap it up then.
Get on up, man. That's what I want to do. Get up and give me something to eat. I'm hungry.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and prepare to wrap this up because that's pretty much all I had, and I'm looking at the time, and I do got to get up pretty early in the morning. We're going to try to open up this for a few questions. If anybody got any questions in the live chat, we're going to give you 10 minutes. You put them down real quick. We'll try to tackle a few of them. If you don't, we're going to get on out of here. So right now is the time to ask any question you want to ask us. And we'll go to the live chat, and we will try to tackle some of these questions. So go ahead and ask us a few things.
I got something I want to ask y'all. I want to ask y'all.
Go ahead.
Not you, but the people in the live chat. Are you going to GameStop to make your next purchases out there? Are you going to GameStop to go?
I forgot all about that. I forgot we did that at the beginning. I'm curious to hear it. I forgot we did that at the beginning, man.
Will you be buying your PlayStation Premium from GameStop?
With the composite cables.
Oh man, that's funny, bro.
Okay, so I don't see no questions on here, and I think it's a slow night tonight. It's a lot of cats ain't asking anything, so I ain't gonna hold it up too much longer. So anyway, man, let's go ahead and prepare to be signed out. We're gonna start with D2K.
It's D2K Prime. Thank y'all for stopping through tonight, and we'll see you next time.
Okay. K-Bomb 20.
So, yo, what's up, y'all? Enjoy yourselves again. This is K-Bomb 20. I enjoyed ourselves on episode, 69? Yeah, as Level said, that don't sound right, but anyway, I had a good time, man. Also, if you guys had a chance to check out some of those videos that me and Level did playing Madden against each other, let us know if you guys are interested in stuff like that. We were thinking about doing a little bit more of that, showing you guys some gameplay, see how either bad or good we are at certain games. Definitely think about doing that a little bit more. A little Saturday morning gaming, live streaming for you guys, and see how you guys like that.
Yeah. Yeah, tune in. I'm going to try to tackle this question since he did ask, and I don't want to just pass up what he asked. David, 23, said, if the Switch is successful, do you think Sony would try to do the same?
No, you don't need to answer that question.
I said they kind of already did it. You know, they tried it, I should say, and it didn't work.
Well, they had their own approach to it, which was an ideal than Nintendo had tried with the game. Which kind of was doing too. But anyway, yeah, I do. I think they will. They have their own. They might turn the Vita into something like that, you know. But not they main piece of hardware. No, I don't think they'd do that. But maybe they'd convert the Vita or something like that into something like the Switch. If the Switch is successful, I can see them doing something like that. But anyway, this is your boy Levelhead. This was the Live and Level Gamers podcast. Not much to talk about. We kind of was just on here because we want to, you know, be consistent. So this was a little slower than normal.
Hey man, don't degrade my conversation. We had a good time.
No, it was good. It was a good conversation. I'm just saying.
That's the highlight of my week.
So, depending on how scheduling goes, we might be on Sunday with Jedi Knight. I had to talk to the guys, see how they schedule look, and talk with him and see if he's gonna be available. And maybe John Shaw jump on then as well. But this is the Live and Level Gamers podcast. Till next time, folks. Deuces.
Well.